Hey there, how are you doing? If you're a new subscriber, welcome to this channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Here we discuss Excel, data analytics, finance, and we make our lives better. My name is Sylvia, and in today's video, we're looking at cell referencing. I've thought to say relative and absolute cell referencing as the two broad types of cell referencing. But for me, I would like to break it down into four types, which is what helps me learn better. So we have the absolute cell referencing, the row constant cell referencing, the column constant cell referencing, and the relative cell referencing. And in today's video, we're going to explore these four types of cell referencing to learn them together. Using this data set, we have fruits, we have the unit price, the quantity, and we want to find the total cost. So we're going to use to get the total cost of these fruits that have been sold. We'll just simply do the unit price times the quantity of fruits that were sold per fruit. And to do that, we just do equal to the unit price for apple is 30 times the quantity here is 45, and then we'll click on enter. So here, looking at the formula bar, you'd see that we've done D4 cell D4 times cell E4, which is giving us 1,350, and this is the total cost for apple. Dragging it down, we get the cost for other fruits as well. So using function F2, we see the formula embedded in a cell, and here we can see that the highlighted cells are D4 and E4. Going to the next cell, E5 and E5. The next, D6, E6, D7, E7, D8, E8. So here we'd notice that the formula has moved from one cell to another. Taking note of row 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and columns D and E. This is a perfect example of a relative cell reference. So moving on to the next, there are some cases where you wouldn't want a value to change. For example, here we're trying to calculate the impact of tax in each of these fruits as regards the total. So in this case, we don't want the tax value to change. So the tax is going to be constant. So here we're going to use absolute cell referencing. The right thing to do is to multiply the unit price and the quantity together, but in this case we're going to use a parenthesis because we also need to multiply our tax. So open a parenthesis and select cell D5 multiplied by D5, then we close the parenthesis and then multiply again by our cell F2, which is where we have our tax rate, and enter. Then if we use the fill handle to drag down, we will notice that we have 0 value, 9,000. We have very ridiculous values here. And that is because when we are dragging down, if you click on this cell function F2, looking at the formula behind this, you'll notice that we've selected our cell D6 and E6, but our tax has shifted from F2, where it's supposed to be fixed, to F3, and we don't have any value in F3, and that's why it's giving us 0. And this is definitely not what we want. Going to the value, using F2, let's see the formula that we've typed in. So here we're also seeing that we're referencing D7 times E7, and this case is also multiplying it by tax, which is in cell F4. F4 tax is a text, so that's why it's screaming value. Where is the value? There is no value, right? We need to have our F2 constant and not changing. It shouldn't move down and it shouldn't move to any other direction even when we toggle. So we're just going to delete this and then we're going to go back. So now we're going to redo this again using absolute cell referencing. To do that, we'll click equal to, then we'll open parentheses, then we're multiplying cell D5 and cell E5. So we'll close the parentheses and then we're also multiplying this by F2. But in this case, we want F2 to be constant across all the other cells as it moves. So to do this, we're going to lock this cell on F2. The shortcut key for cell referencing is F4. So you notice that when you toggle around, you'll see the different types of references that you have on Excel. But in this case, we are using this, which is locking the row and the colon. When you have your dollar sign in front of your colon alphabet and also in front of your row number, this means you have an absolute referencing on. So you click on enter. So we just fill the remaining cells and then we have the right values for our tax calculated. So looking at the cells, looking at the formulas one more time using F2, we can see that cell D5 is multiplying cell E5. This is multiplying cell F2, which is locked on F2. Then going to the next, D6 is multiplying E6, and we still have our tax locked on F2. Going straight down to the last, we'll still see that D9 is multiplying E9, but it's still locked on F2, which is our tax. And here we have gotten the right tax values.